Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs show. Happy Tuesday morning. Hope you're well. Hope you're looking forward to a good day. And you're settling in for some good transfer news because I've got some good ones. Got some good ones for you. So we're talking a little bit around the man on the thumbnail, Jarrad Branthwaite. You will notice him. Also, we're kind of talking about the list of centre-backs in a weird way. Not all of them, so I'm not going to talk about, who I talked about yesterday. The three that I talked about yesterday, the Todibo, Mark Guay and Lloyd Kelly. Go back and have a little watch if you've basically missed it. We're talking a little bit around Jarrad Branthwaite and Dragusin. It's a cracking name. It feels like a villain from a movie, I know. And we do also have potentially the first signs, inclinations that Samuel Iling-Junior wants the move to the Premier League as well. So give you a bit of an update around that. It's a bit different than values or these clubs want him. It's actually more about the player. So I thought it was quite interesting to talk about as well. So we'll start with Jarrad Branthwaite anyway. Just before I start, just want to say, if you're new, subscribe, do us a favour. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And we'll start with Jarrad Branthwaite and this Dragusin news. And it came from Football Transfers by Jack Talbot. And it said that exclusive. Tottenham list Dragusin and Jarrad Branthwaite as top targets for the January transfer window. Right? And I actually want to start. Well, actually, no, I tell you what, I've got one other bit of news about Jarrad Branthwaite. It might nuke all of this, okay? And it came from Team Talk that said that Everton have reportedly slapped a £75 million price tag on Jarrad Branthwaite amid interest from Tottenham and Manchester United. I'll talk about this before I actually talk about some stats. On this, I don't think Everton obviously value it at 75. It's more about to ward off interest to kind of keep him at the club. Obviously, they're in a relegation battle. They're going to want to keep him. Obviously, they've had that points deduction, which obviously they've come out the other side of. They're out. I think they're outside the relegation zone already. So, this season, Everton have actually had a really good season. Had they not had the points deduction, I think they're like 4 or 5 points clear of Chelsea. I think they're actually Everton are around mid-table to sort of like 8th to sort of 11th. I think is where they'd be. Don't hold me to that. Apologies if I'm just a bit wrong. But you can tell they're having a great season. I think Dyche has finally got them going. Calvert-Lewin's back fit. The midfield seems to be really good. You've got your James Garner, you've got your Onanas, you've got your Doucourés, just a Garner Gaze. There's a lot of really actually solid players in that Everton squad. Obviously, they have financial fair play difficulties, right? And we know that Everton rejected Spurs' change to the Dele Alli deal. But you could use that against Everton in a weird way to say, look, you want to play Dele Alli. We know you want to play him. He's a really good player, right? And also, you should be playing him. Don't screw over the young man just because you don't want to pay some money for him. You didn't pay anything for him in the first place, right? But I digress. On this side of things, when you think about it, you could use that against him and say, look, we'll wipe 20 million off that deal. Let's come together on a deal like this. And maybe that way you actually gain a midfielder in Dele Alli. You then, get a lump of money that you can help with financial fair play. I mean, it could be potentially. Let's talk some of his stats though, because I think some of you may not be too up to date on Jarrad Branthwaite. So I'll give you some player data, if you're an American, sorry, definitely not Australian. Australian would say data. Name and country, English, homegrown. Jarrad Paul Branthwaite, 21 years old, born on the June the 27th. He's from Carlisle. Now, if you don't know where Carlisle is, you're near enough in Scotland at that point. Centre-back, left-footed, which is also a very key thing, and his contract expires in the summer of 2027. This season, played a ton of football. When you think of being a 21-year-old, he's been out on loan. I think he went to Blackburn. I think it's PSV. He's played 16 times, in all competition, 14 times in the league, and twice in the EFL Cup, the League Cup, the Carling Cup, the Capital One Cup, whatever you want to call it. So he's played a ton of football, just short of 1,500 minutes this season. He's played a ton of football this season. He's been one of the linchpins in terms of Everton's turn up in form. He's been really. So I've been watching Everton actually a little bit recently. I don't mind Everton. I'll put my hand up. I don't mind Everton. I actually like Everton. That probably is going to get me some abuse somewhere down the line, but I don't mind Everton. Don't get me wrong, their attitude around Richarlison and that deal, that was a joke, and that was hilarious. I needed the joke that day, so thanks for that, lads. But on this side of things, he has been very good for them, Everton have had a leaky defence the last few years, and Dyche has kind of come in, plugged a few holes, But then he brought in Jarrad Branthwaite and gave him more of a featured role. And I think that's really shown up and turned up for the books, you know. I think it's improved sort of your Mikolenko at left back. I think even it's improved Pickford, because Pickford doesn't have to save 400 shots a game to keep a clean sheet, you know. So he's played a lot of football this year. He's been really solid. You know, he's a big old boy. He's a big old boy, you know, 6'3", 6'4", I think maybe even 6'5", somewhere between there. Big boy, left-footed centre-back. I would like him at Spurs. I think he'd probably get more of a development in playing out from the back. I think that's fair to say. I don't think anyone's going to be angry, not even Everton fans. Could he do it? Yeah, probably. You could probably improve. I think you improve any player playing out from the back. You know, I think people thought Mickey van der Ven couldn't, but actually he looks pretty solid coming out from the back. And again, it's that thing that people kind of need to get their head around, that we should have 4 centre-backs, shouldn't have 2, and then 2 clear backups. We should have 4 centre-backs all in and around each other's talent, because that way there's not a drop-off. Let's talk about Dragusin. So, this guy has been all over Italian football. So he came through the Juventus setup. He's been on loan to Sampdoria, Salernitana. Sorry, I nearly mullered it. And he went to Genoa on loan from Juventus and then moved there permanently in the summer of 2023-24 season for €5.5 million. So I think they're getting a good deal out of that. Football Transfer Market says that he plays all across the back four, which versatility is something that, you know, I love. I love it. So let's talk about him. Anyway, Radu Matej Dragusin, February 3rd, 2002, 21 years old. God, he makes me feel old. Centre back, right-footed. Summer of 2027 is the contract expiry. This season, he's played in 18 games. He's played 15 times in the league of the Serie A, scoring 1 assist in 1, always nice, and 3 times the Italian Cup, all of which he's played a lot of football in. Again, I mean, another fairly big boy, you know. Seems to be the profile player we're going for. You know, that early 20s where you've started to hit your stride, you've started to show real improvement, like quite significant improvement year on year. But you just need to take that next step in terms of that improvement. And I think, you know, when you look at how Serie A teams maybe defend, or Serie A teams play out from the back, it's different from other leagues. You know, you look at even Jarrad Branthwaite at Everton, they play out from the back in different ways. You know, he might play at the back for sometimes, he might go along to Calvert-Lewin sometimes. You know, it's not something that we do at Spurs. So it is that next level development, say, you're a solid defender, we're going to teach you now how to play offside trap, because that seems to be the big thing, but also how to play out from the back. But Dragusin has a lot of interest. You know, I think his agent's been talking about how much interest he has as well. So, you know, it'll be one of those alongside a Todibo maybe that there is a lot of interest in him. He's 21 years old. He'll be 22 at the start of next season. Both of them would be, to be fair. I'm not surprised they have a lot of interest. I'm just not, because they're good players. You know, I think Dragusin would be a lot cheaper than Branthwaite, supposedly, to that Team Talk article, but we shall see. Let's talk Iling-Junior. So Genoa put out that Juventus 20-year-old English winger Samuel Iling-Junior wants to transfer to the Premier League in the January transfer window, and 5 clubs are in a race to sign him. I mean, to predict the 5 clubs, ourselves, Newcastle, Villa, if Zaniolo has any form of that. There was a betting thing. I don't know if anything happened to him in the end, but if something does happen to him, maybe I could see a Brentford or West Ham, maybe. I'm putting him out there. I don't know if it's true or not. And if I went 5 for 5, I'm a genius. I can predict the future. Tell me if you need the lottery numbers. I'll tell you what they are. It's the first inclination that this deal is going to happen in January, with or without it being Spurs, right? And I've kind of tried to, you know, I think some people find it underwhelming. I think some people don't find it the sexy deal, right? And I totally get that. Some people don't find every chance for the sexy deal, right? There's been chances in the past that I didn't find sexy. You know, I've always thought, oh, we could do better than that, really? You know, oh, that guy, oh, that's a bit boring. There's a bit this, that, and the other. But they've turned out to be really solid transfers. I think with this deal, it's one of those that I think all Spurs fans can kind of agree on this one. You don't have to love it. You don't have to hate it. You can be somewhere in the middle. You could be one end of the spectrum. But once he signs, you're back him. And you're going to give him all the love that he needs, right? I think that's fair to say. You know, you might not love it all the way until it's done. You might hate it when it's done. But, you know, if he turns up, you know, first game off the bench, you know, gets a goal, gets an assist, you might go, do you know what? Yeah, all right, we'll give him a go. Let's see what he's got. I mean, I'd hope you'd say that before he scores the goal or assist, but yeah, regardless, he's a guy that's going to be available. And in January, it's a hard time to get players who are available because clubs don't want to sell them. You know, when you think of the summer and you think of, you know, big competitions in the summer, you know, your World Cups or your Euros, it's hard to buy players in those summers purely on the fact that players want to be playing week in, week out, get into those squads, you know, maybe play. I don't know what you know, the attitude is. Some of them, you know, your Calvin Phillips will just get in there regardless, or your Harry Maguire would get in there regardless. They could stab someone. They could stab my family and they'd still somehow get in and I'd be impressed. They wouldn't. I'm only joking. Don't cry about it. But the thing is with a lot of the other players, like, you know, Iling-Junior probably knows he's not getting in the squad, so he could probably take that move. I mean, hell, if you're only going to play 4 times in the Serie A in 6 months and you're going to want to take that move anyway, you're starting to get to that point where you want to be playing a little bit more. And I think you get more minutes at Spurs regardless, you know. He's played, 4 games? I can guarantee if he joins in January, he plays in more than 4 games for Spurs. I can tell you that for sure. Especially the way we drop like flies injury-wise. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video. If you did, hit me in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings about Jarrad, Branthwaite, Dragusin, and obviously Iling-Junior. I want to know your thoughts and feelings about all of that. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification more because there's more videos to come today, so you're going to want to know about it. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.